Whoever wins, we definitely lose. Let's get into it. Welcome back to my channel. Hope you're all doing well out there. And today we're going to talk about the first of the two AVP films. But before we get into it, like, comment, and subscribe. Join me here. I really would appreciate that. Yes, we're here, folks. We're at the two AVP films. We're going to do the first one today, Alien vs. Predator, which came out August 13th of 2004. It's rated PG-13, was a big point of contention at the time, and it's an hour and 41 minutes long. Now, this film had a budget of $60 million, although Paul Anderson said it was under 50 actually, and upon release it made 80 in America and 177 worldwide, so it did make some bucks. Now, this film was set forth all the way back in 1990 with Predator 2, when Danny Glover's character is on the Predator spacecraft, and in the trophy case we saw the skull of the alien, and ever since then, fans have been speculating and clamoring for an AVP film. Should we have gotten it, though? Should we really? We're going to talk about it right now. Now, they made comic books and graphic novels based off that concept, and then finally in 2004, we got the first of the two films that we received in this little franchise, little offshoot here. Now, Predator hadn't been around since 1990 with the release of Part 2, except for in graphic novels and comic books. And the last Alien film at that point was released in 97 with Alien Resurrection, which was met with mixed reaction. I don't mind that film. I think there's some really cool practical effects, but it is kind of a mess of a film. With some cool practical effects, don't grant me, there's some cool practical effects in there. I think there's some good performances in there, but it's a mess of a film for sure. So both franchises, Predator been dormant way longer, have been dormant for quite a few years before this rolled around. Now, they tapped none other than Paul W.S. Anderson of Event Horizon, Soldier fame, the first, many Resident Evil films, too many, because they really got shitty after a while, in my opinion. Came in to write and direct this film. Now, Shane Salerno came in and rewrote the script that they shot with, but Paul W.S. Anderson had a lot of his own ideas. Now, cast-wise, Santa Lathan came in to play Alexa Woods, and she was in Blade. She played Blade's mom in the first Blade film. And Lance Henriksen came in to play Charles Bishop Weyland. You may ask yourself, how the hell is that possible? It doesn't matter. They wanted to bring a legacy, somebody familiar back to the franchise, and Lance Henriksen was the first one cast here. So very simple story here. Although the setup I don't mind, and the location of where everything takes place I actually kind of like as an idea, although some of it doesn't make a whole lot of sense, but what the hell. Here we go. Weyland's satellites pick up a heat signature at Antarctica, and he is convinced that something's going on, and he wants to go. He puts a team together of different scientists and military people. One's played by Colin Solomon, and Alexa's character, who's great on ice and climbing cliffs and that, to lead them in to Antarctica to find what is underneath the ice, because they see something is buried beneath the ice. And they go. We get a little prologue in the beginning back in 1904 at this little town whaling station in Antarctica where this guy's being chased, and we see a predator cloaked in its cloaking device kill an alien, and that's how we start the film. And then our team gets to Antarctica. There's already a hole that was lasered into the ice all the way down to this pyramid, which I gotta be honest, the set design is really well done here. I gotta give them credit. The little whaling station and the underground pyramid is a cool setting. Now, it doesn't make a lot of sense, and we'll talk about that in a little while, why it doesn't make sense, but our team goes down into the pyramid and they trip this device that wakes up this queen alien that's buried way below in this pyramid and starts laying eggs, which, eventually our cast here is going to find, and they're going to get taken over, impregnated with the alien embryo. They're going to have some chest burster fun, and then we're going to have aliens running amok, and then these three predators come down, which I don't really care for their designs, and I'll say why in a little bit. And it takes about 45 minutes till we see our first alien on predator action. And pretty much from then on out, we got predator on alien action, our aliens killing people and cocooning them, waiting to get taken over by the facehuggers. And then at the end, we have Alexa, the last one left of the humans, teaming up with the last predator left, and they have to fight the queen alien, who's the only alien left. And we get some cheesy action, and they defeat the queen, and Alexa gets to go home, and that's the end of Alien versus Predator. What to like about this film? The set design. I really like the set design. I think it's really well done. The pyramid is cool. It's well done. This movie was shot in Prague. A matter of fact, Paul W.S. Anderson has said in interviews that to build these sets in Hollywood would have cost him $20 million. To build them in Prague, it only cost him $2 million. And he had to keep the budget down, so they went to Prague to shoot because it was cheaper to do this stuff. Now, I think Santa Lathan does good with what she's given to do, which isn't a whole lot. The dialogue here, most of it really sucks. It's not very good at all. Lance Hendrickson, even though his character makes no sense in being here, he's good. He's always solid whenever he's on screen, no matter how shitty the movie is around him. The other characters, we get to know a little bit about them, but really they're just here to give some exposition, give us information, and then get killed by the Predator or the alien. And that's pretty much the only reason they're here. Now, the reason we're really here is to see these two creatures fight. Now, 70% of the effects are practical. Guys that used to work for Stan Winston came in to do, ADI came in to do the suits for the Predators and the aliens. The aliens look really good here, like aliens always have looked good when they're done practically. The Predators, I don't care for their designs. They're too big and weirdly bulky. I never liked them even when I saw this in the theaters the opening weekend back in 2004. They just look strange compared to the old design. And why they changed it, I don't know. I really don't like the Predator design here. And when it takes its mask off towards the end, there's something just off about it. And the extra long blade on the arm looks awkward, and it looks like it's shaking around when they're running. It looks like, I don't like the design here. I think they should have stuck with the original design. There was no reason to change it. It was perfect the way it was, but they did. And I really don't care for the Predator design here. It's okay at best, but it's a steep down in quality compared to the first two films in terms of that design of that Predator. The action's okay. It's not as quick cut as some of Paul Anderson's later films, like some of the Resident Evil later films, where it's so incoherently cut you can't see what the hell's going on. But it's not the greatest action here. I mean, just compared to John McTiernan from the first Predator film, or Ridley Scott from the first Alien film, or James Cameron from Aliens. Paul W.S. Anderson's always one of those hit or miss directors. I like Event Horizon, I like Soldier. This is okay at best, and some of his other films, Resident Evil's okay. The more I watch it, the older I get, the worse that movie seems. He's an okay director with a spotty track record, and here he's just okay. It's serviceably directed. Some of the action there's some weird ass shots that look like shit, and when there is CGI in this film, and there is CGI utilized, it looks bad. It does. It just looks like shit. It was 2004. They had a decent budget, but when the CGI does rear its ugly head, it looks awful. And the end, when the last Predator teams up with Alexa and they're running in slow motion away from the Queen Alien, it looks cheesy as shit, and it's just laughably bad. Plus, the whole prospect of them setting in Antarctica, I know why they did. It's an isolated place and it's a hostile place. I get it. But it was already established in the first two Predator films that the Predators are attracted to two things: heat and conflict. And there's no heat in Antarctica. And so that aspect of it makes no goddamn sense. Now, you could say this is his own universe away from the Predator franchise and away from the Alien franchise. But Paul W.S. Anderson even said in interviews back then, because I remember reading the article on Fangoria, I think I still have the goddamn magazine in storage, that he was trying to adhere to the timelines of those films. The only problem is, well, there's a survivor who gets out, and the alien was not discovered until Ripley's crew steps foot on that spaceship and comes back with an embryo in, I can't remember the actor's or the character's name, stomach, and that's the first contact we've ever had. So this film can't be in the continuality of the rest of the franchises because it makes no goddamn sense. It really doesn't. So you can squash that. If you take it on its own merit, it's still kind of dumb. It does not jive with what we've already learned from these two franchises. But there's bad dialogue. It's not the best written movie. I like the concept of this pyramid, even though being in Antarctica makes no goddamn sense in terms of the Predator and its training ground for the Predators. It's just a bullshit device to get these two creatures together. There's a little bit of fun to be had. When I saw this back in 2004, I thought it was okay. Watching it last night, it's not a very well-made film. It's okay. Paul W.S. Anderson did okay. And I know he was a fan of Alien more than Predator, and definitely the aliens get the upper hand on the Predator more often, although the Predator technically wins in the end, although the last Predator is impregnated And we all know that. They show that scene, and the Predator knows it. Why he didn't kill himself, I don't know, but it gives him a reason to have the Pred alien bust out of his stomach at the end of the film, which leads us into AVP Requiem, which we'll talk about next week, God help me, because these movies definitely did get better with the sequel. We'll talk about that. Now, famous at the time, this movie was lambasted for being PG-13 when both Predator films and the whole Alien franchise was rated R. So it made no sense to make this PG-13. They were trying to appeal to younger audiences, which I don't know if it worked. It made some money, but I think it would probably made just as much money if they rated R. Now, when it was released on DVD and Blu-ray eventually, they slapped an unrated cut on there, and all they really did was slap on some really shitty CGI blood to make it unrated. It was kind of an insult to fans, and still insulting watching it now because the CGI blood looks goddamn awful. Other than that, I have a couple things of tribute for you. When this movie was made in 2004, this was the only studio film, big budget studio film, that had the shortest time to make the film. 2.5 months to shoot the film and 4 months in post-production. Now, here's a little context that kind of pisses me off. Before this film was made, James Cameron wrote a script for another Alien film, and he had spoken to Sigourney Weaver and Ridley Scott about coming back. Sigourney Weaver to star in the movie, and she was interested, and Ridley Scott to come in and direct it, and he was interested. When they found out Fox was planning to do this film, James Cameron scrapped it and said, okay, we're not doing it then, because I'm not going to be associated with that. Why they made this film and not that film is beyond me. We could have had a film written by James Cameron, directed by Ridley Scott, starring Sigourney Weaver, a new Alien film, and they decided to give us this thing. Now, this is okay. It's marginally okay. It's not a great film. It's rather poorly made in spots. You could see it, even though I'm trying to be nice to Paul Anderson. He does okay here. We could have had another freaking Alien film with Ridley Scott directing and James Cameron writing. I can't believe Fox decided to go this route. It was money. It's why they can keep the budget down, and they got a director that works a lot cheaper than Ridley Scott, and a cast of basically not stars in the film. So they cheaped out, which Fox was known to do back then. So unfortunately, we got this instead of that. But here's where we're at. Other than that, that's all I got. At the end of the day, this is an okay film. There's a marginal fun to be had. When the practical effects are on screen, even though I don't like the Predator look, it's fine. The battle scenes between Alien and Predators are okay at best. At the end of the day, this isn't a great film at all. Although, we'll see what I think about AVP Requiem when I talk about that next week. That has its own set of problems. At the end of the day, I would give this film a 5 out of 10. It's okay. It'll be a long time before I watch this again. So yeah, 5 out of 10 for Alien vs. Predator. Have you ever seen this film? Leave a comment down below. Let me know. Hit the thumbs up. Hit the subscribe button. Share this video. I really would appreciate that. I'm going to go off in left field here, and I'm going to do a review for The Burbs, a black comedy that I absolutely adore. I'm going to have a review out for that next week as well, and AVP Requiem, and a ranking video, and finish up my Predator franchise reviews. But until then, I hope you all have a great weekend, and bye.